Blake Martinez has been cut by the New York Giants. We were sitting here at our where are we even sitting? I don't know. I was sitting on my bed on a Thursday afternoon after, of course, the day we release an episode in the morning, Alex. That's just how it always goes. And two YouTube videos, so you can check all of that out. Anyway, yeah, so I'm sitting here and Field Yates breaks it that the Giants release Blake Martinez. Because of that release, they were able to add someone, and they added, I believe his name is Tyree Phillips. I don't know exactly what position he plays. Is it offensive line?
He's an offensive lineman. He has swing tackle capabilities. His natural position is the guard. So we'll see more offensive line depth there. But yeah, that's not the big news, I guess.
I think Phillips, though, was a guaranteed signing 2 hours ago. I want to say that beat reporters were confirming that he was going to sign with the Giants then. No one knew who they were cutting for him, though. Blake Martinez being the guy. We knew the Giants were low on cap room once again. What are they going to do? Well, they're going to eat $7.5 million in dead money, with approximately only $175,000 in cap savings with the release of Blake Martinez just a few months after restructuring him. If you remember, the Giants restructured Blake's deal to help them out back in the spring. And now they come back.
So actually, just another update here. Apparently, because they did it prior to week 1, there's only going to be a $4 million dead cap hit, and we will save $3.5 million in cap space. So, updates as things are moving. Obviously, we're recording just as this obviously happened. Interesting.
Just a little bit. Yeah, and I think this really shows either, Alex, does this really show that the Giants trust their young guys, or does it show more that we're really going for a rebuilding season?
I think it shows that the Giants need cap space. And I think there's something more to the story. Because he didn't practice yesterday for personal reasons. What those reasons were, we have no idea. He was back in the locker room today. He was talking to the beats. But we have no idea. He cracked a joke, whatever. But there's something more behind the scenes here. Than just cap room. Because I think if it was just cap room, I don't think it would have been. Here's my idea of it. What if because Darius Slayton, once you bring another player in, he's only going to save you around $2 million. What if they needed that extra $1.5 million? And that's kind of what they were thinking. Blake Martinez, this is his last year with the team anyway. Is he going to stick around longer? That would be the non-other things going on answer. Because I know people are calling for Slayton's head right now, not like they were already, but now even more with the cut of Martinez. I don't know exactly what the Giants are doing here. It's a confusing move. It's a brain puzzling move, and I'm really still trying to think of it. The scenarios going on. Josh called me and he said Blake Martinez was cut, and while I was going upstairs to grab the computer to get on the recording here, I was thinking what could be the reason? And I still don't really know. I think there has to be something else to the story because it just doesn't make sense. Because I think they could have just restructured someone if they really needed more cap room. They still probably do need more cap room because I think they needed to free up about $4 million in space. So they might need to cut someone else too or restructure a little bit more. So I'm not sure if this was a pure cap play or there's something more to it. If it's a pure cap play, I'm not crazy about it. But if there's something more to it, obviously I can't judge because I have no idea.
Alex, and so I've confirmed what I assumed, and that is that Tyree Phillips was already basically known to be claimed by the Giants, a waiver claim, Alex. So this has nothing to do with, we're cutting Blake Martinez to sign this Tyree Phillips guy. We got to make room for him. You don't make room by cutting Blake Martinez, your starting middle linebacker. So this has nothing to do with the signing of Phillips. They just needed a spot, and I guess they just took Martinez with it. Art Stapleton of NorthJersey.com just tweeted out again as we're running through these live tweets here. He said, Giants released Blake Martinez, and my understanding is that this is not a situation where it's like a vested veteran deal, and he'll be back tomorrow or over the weekend with a different type of contract. I'm told Giants and Martinez will go in another direction. So there had to be some sort of falling out, Alex, because, yeah, you say, like, oh, he was in the locker room today and he made a joke to the beat reporters. It wasn't that he made a joke, but he was calm, cool, and comfortable, unless he was hiding something that we don't know about. Being out yesterday, coming back in the locker room, and he goes, like, because it was the first time in 2 years where the beat reporters were allowed to go in the Giants locker room, he made like a, hey guys, welcome in, you know, like as a veteran captain would do on this defense. And, you know, and he goes, oh, like my locker room's messy or whatever. That was a joke there. But he seemed really, like, fine. There wasn't any emotion where he was, like, any sadness or anger at the time. But again, he could have been hiding it. I don't know. But with this cut, Alex, that's what I'm saying, where it's like this is a really big – I know you said it's a cap move, which it is directly, but it's also, from what it looks to me as, we're not really going for the playoffs this season type move too. Because by cutting your starting middle linebacker, now you're leaving the Giants with heavy youngsters, I should say. You're relying heavily on youngsters is what I meant to say. Them being Tay Crowder and Micah McFadden are your top two starting linebackers at this moment. And I would assume that means by doing that, right, you have these young guys play a lot of the time, which is basically like the rebuilding season. Have your youngsters improve and develop this year to then go at it next year. That's another thing I see in this move.
Well, here's what I would say at it. I saw someone make this point on Twitter. I'm not going to I forget now who said it. It was someone, but I'm kind of going to go with it. Joe Shane is a big positional value guy, and the middle linebacker position is notoriously one of the least valuable in terms of positional value, in terms of what you pay them contract-wise, etc., even positionally, like their impact on the field. Could it be that, they looked at it and they said, it's really not that important of a position? Yes, Blake Martinez, he's a leader. He's great. He just came off an ACL injury, though, and he's not going to be as good as he was last year or the year before. So why don't we just get rid of him? It solves our cap problem, and we could move in a separate direction. Didn't really fit with the team, etc. Could it be something like that that kind of drove the Giants away? They saw this interior linebacker position, and they're like, we'd rather keep that than a wide receiver. We see this wide receiver room. It gets injured constantly. We rate Darius Slayton, or we rate who's another player that they could have cut. I mean, really, it would have just been Darius Slayton or a restructure. It was Darius Slayton or a restructure. Or really Darius Slayton plus a restructure or a really big restructure. So certainly a lot of interesting moves here. I don't really like it. If there's not more to the story, I'd say not a big fan, but I'm not as outraged as some other people. But I don't think this is the worst move. I mean, I wouldn't have done it, but I don't think it's the be all end all terrible fire Joe Shane move. I'm sure as some people are calling for his head as we speak. Wouldn't be surprised. It's Giants Twitter.
And Alex, so, I mean, now what I'm seeing here, Dan Duggan said it too. This is not a cap move. This is really not, because it has no reason with Phillips and his signing how it, renders, is that the right word? How it affects the cap. So there had to be some sort of fallout. That's really my last, resort here. What to say is that there had to be some sort of, big argument maybe between Dable, between one of the coaches and Martinez. He really didn't agree. A large fight broke out or something. I don't know how else to explain it. Really, I'm looking here to my right, Alex. To my right is the Giants Fan Fest poster. They handed this out at the end of the night. This poster, Alex, it has a bunch of Giants offense and defensive players, their top guys on the team. And guess who's right in the middle? Who's right in the center? I'm going to bring it here. Let me see if I'll grab it right now. Look who that is. Right in the center of everything. Blake Martinez. Right there. So, one of the top players on this Giants team coming back from an injury, looking good, was on the field today. Yeah, it's really confusing. There had to be, I really expect that there was something behind the scenes, because then that puts the Giants under a lot of pressure to answer questions if there's nothing and they're just doing it because cap room.
Well, they conveniently did it. They conveniently did it after their press conference this morning.
Obviously.
Yeah. But I'm sure Dable will have some questions tomorrow. But certainly an interesting move there. But I think there's definitely more to the story. But Blake Martinez, it seems, just didn't jive with the new regime. and he'll be moving on. I'm sure he'll have plenty of suitors in the market, pretty much every team but the Giants, I would assume. And we'll see where he ends up. Good luck to him. Always liked Blake Martinez, thought he was a good player. I think most likely spot returning with the Las Vegas Raiders with Patrick Graham. That would be my prediction here. But either that or Joe Judge and New England Joe Judge in New England. There we go.
I'll throw one more funny thing at the end here. Anything to have to do with this and Roquan Smith on the Chicago Bears?
No, I do not think that. I don't think that's why we cut him. No.
Yeah, that would make no sense. Free up cap room just to get even more cap room on this roster. But anyway, we don't want to talk here forever. So once we get more updates, maybe we'll come back with like a part 2 update on why the heck this is happening. If not, we'll do an episode. I have no idea. But right now, we wanted to get this content out as soon as possible. Blake Martinez, cut by the New York Giants. That's it for this one. If you enjoy the video, hit the like button, subscribe down below. Keep watching our content. Really appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Peace.